started this. So now I just have to wait until it actually says 3:30 somewhere. So I'm just, I got 9, 8. Is it time yet? Is it 3:30 yet? Is it 3:30 yet? Is it 3:30? And we got 10 seconds to go. I'm going to read from my book. My cool light book. What? Sorry. I think this is the coolest thing to have in a library, is it not? Hey, time just turned at 3:30. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Poetic License, live in this most weird, safe, secluded, sequestered home edition. I hope everybody's out there having a great time. You can't really read from a book that glows like that, so I'm going to put that down. A gentleman said on Facebook that they really thought that this hat was a cute image in a photo, so I thought I'd try it on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this hat for many videos because it kind of flops around. You have to hold it funny, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but I figured I'd try it for this first round for you guys. Welcome to Poetic License, to everyone in Austin, to everyone in Chicago, and anybody around the world who might be checking this out, because this is a chance for us to be able to get together with public posts, because right now that's all we can do, so rock on, right? I was going to start by reading 3 poems. Normally when I do the open mic I start with 1, but I figured since everybody normally reads 3 poems, I would read 3 poems for this first live round, and then for subsequent readings people can read as much as they like, so I'm going to read a bunch of stuff from new books. So I'm going to enjoy 3 poems instead of my usual 1, since that's the usual thing. I was going to start with 2 poems that I had accepted into Concrete Mispressed Anthology. It was a book that came out just in the past month or 2 or something. It's this really cool looking concrete thing. Check that out. Yeah, it's all out of focus for cameras. I have to show cameras, whatever. I don't know. But he had set this up, and I was honored to be able to choose 2 pieces for it, and they're both really crazy themed because you try to pick something that's going to make people think and be particularly emotional. And so I'm going to read to you from this book, Concrete Mispressed Anthology, 2 poems of mine. I hope you enjoy them. This first one is an edited version. I guess that would be the Concrete Mist edit of the poem Death Takes Many Forms. And you know, before I even start, I remember how Tom would always bring a bunch of glasses, and at least at his open mic he would just scatter them everywhere, and I don't have a bunch of glasses, so I'm borrowing these so it can be an homage to Tom, I guess, even though these aren't as colorful as most of Tom's glasses. But I should see how I can pull this off with reading. We'll see how that goes. This poem, as I said before, is from the book Concrete Mispressed Anthology, and it's called Death Takes Many Forms, Concrete Mist edition. It is winter now. The trees have lost their leaves. The city is covered in a thin layer of soot and snow. The grass is dead. In the sunless sky, black birds circle overhead, searching for prey. An eerie cold settles over everything. Nothing is growing anymore. Death takes many forms. For you, death first came when you were 5 years old, and your mother had to give you 3 shots of insulin a day until you could take a needle to yourself. Did it hurt to push that needle into your arm the first time? Or did it hurt you more to know you had no choice? Death takes many forms. Death can be someone telling you without trying that they're losing their sight. Behind Coke bottle glasses, you would see me and say, "That's a nice black suit you're wearing." And I would tell you, "It's green." But you wouldn't believe me. You couldn't hear the howling wind of the changing seasons. Death takes many forms. I know what follows the autumn wind. It is winter now. Do you remember when it happened? The changes are subtle. The temperature drops first only slightly. It's almost imperceptible. It's only when the first snow falls do you realize where all the seasons have gone. Death takes many forms. Death can be a sweat-soaked shirt, the shakes, dizziness when you needed food. You would look as pale as a ghost as I would hold your cold, wet arm to steady you. Quick, some sugar will make everything better. Isn't everything better yet? And death takes many forms. The signs of death can first come when you lose your circulation. My feet are numb, you'd say. I can't feel my feet anymore. And I would rub your feet for you. And you would say that it makes a difference, that you feel better. If only I could do this forever. Death takes many forms. I said goodbye to you to travel my own road, but I didn't think it was the last goodbye. How was I to know? When I left, I knew you didn't want me to go. And now it's my turn. Why are we always saying goodbye to each other? Are you trying to teach me a lesson? Because if you are, well, I've learned it. Trust me, I have. You can come back now. Death takes many forms, and now it seems you take me down with you. It seems that you take me down into that casket with you, and I'm running my hands along your jacket lapel, and I could feel the coldness of winter all around me, and I could hear them shoveling the dirt over my head, and I want to get out, and I want to take you with me. You once showed me that winters could be beautiful. Instead of the dark and dirty snow lacing the city streets, you showed me a quieting snowfall over a lake at your parents' backyard, glistening in an untouched whiteness. I told you I hated winters, and you told me, this you don't hate. Well, I'm still learning. It is winter now, and death takes many forms. The seasons change for you and I. It is snowing, and something is ending. It is snowing somewhere. It is snowing. Way too heavy. I know, sorry. Thank you. And thank you for people who are watching live, by the way. You guys are double plus awesome. Got people in different parts of the world watching. This is the coolest thing. This is the other poem that was chosen for this book, which is the Concrete Mist Press Anthology, released in the beginning of 2020. Thank you, Heath, once again. I just try to do it so I don't get a glare on the cover when you see it. And this, I've had a lot of people give all sorts of assorted compliments. I hope you guys like it too. This was written on Martin Luther King Jr. Day last year, and it is called Our Color, Our Gender, Our Creed. There is a house inside of me. It's a house with a rich heritage, brimming with the knowledge of how our souls have flourished, and about how it can all be so quickly taken away. There is a house inside of me that has had to shut down to hide everything away because those who didn't look like me decided that I was nothing and treated me accordingly. There is a house inside of me. Its pulse has an infectious rhythm that we've had to stifle to hide from your generic white bread world mentality, and we only let it out when we're alone to save us from your madness. There is a house inside of me. I've put boards over the windows to save me from your storm. With your wrath, I've learned to not fight back, only because my captor won't listen. There is a house inside of me, and this house will stand strong, even after you have raped me, beaten me, tortured me, tried to kill me, treated me as nothing. But you were so wrong. There is a house inside of me, and what you don't realize is this. This house will outlast yours. Trust me. If your house was built on such distrust and such a blatant disrespect, then your house is bound to collapse. Because after all this time and after my wanting to fight, I've learned that passive resistance is only a part of my story. Because in these struggles, I have gained a wisdom and a connection that is beyond this house inside of me, beyond this sharing, this inquisitive mentality. So I want you to remember, this house is a symbol for all like me and for those not like me too. Because I have a dream that everyone who has suffered like this, and even those who have not, should share their stories with all of the world, no matter our color, our gender, our creed. This is my dream, because this is how we truly grow. Thank you, Heath, for the honor of being published in this book. I like showing off your book. Yay. Happy, super cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for the people who are checking out and listening live. This is crazy. But as I said, I've got one more poem to share with you guys. And it is from a recent April 1st release of cc&d magazine. I am the editor of 2 literary magazines at Scars Publications. One is Down in the Dirt. That's a supplement magazine to this one, cc&d magazine. And this is the most recent issue. Is called Aesthetic. It actually is a string painting on the cover that I didn't do. Sandy, thank you very much. This was such a cool cover. I asked her permission. She said yes, I was pleased. And I thought I'd read one goofy little poem that is in the middle of this magazine. Now, some people know from they've seen me at open mics that if there is a piece of prose inside and I don't have room at the end of it for a large piece of artwork, I might put a very, very short poem at the end of my own, not so, because I'll give more poets more space in the book. So I've got this tiny poem that is in this book, in this prose section of cc&d Aesthetic, which you can find at scars.tv/ccd. And this poem was written on June 18th for International Panic Day and for International Picnic Day. Writing things for different holidays in a year, you find out all these crazy things, and these are 2 different holidays that were going on. So I thought, why don't I write a little thing about both? So this is a poem called Knowing Panic Becomes a Picnic. After leaving them and sailing the 7 seas, foraging pirates' caves, swimming down from sharks, climbing the Alps, crouching on tops of glaciers, hot tubbing in Russia, scaling the Great Wall of China, I didn't know if my old mates would recognize me after all that had changed me so. So I decided to not touch base. Even if I did, their panic in seeing me, seeing that my life they never lived through might do them in. So I let them think that life is a picnic, that nothing bad could ever happen in their lives because they choose to not live. Because they never will realize that the feeling of panic, the feeling of fear, can really remind you at times of what life really is. Because after knowing panic, life becomes a picnic too. Short but sweet, so I got you a cc&d poem. And I think it's really funny that I happen to pull for a bookmark in here a piece of paper that was for when I first started hosting an open mic in Chicago, the Cafe Gallery, and I would put little notes up in the bar to be able to let people know that it was every other week on a Wednesday. It's now Poetry at the Gallery Cabaret on every other Tuesday, I believe, although we're all in a coronavirus shutdown, so we'll see when it's up again. But I just thought it was really funny that this was here, because after a while I had a show there for a book, Partial Nudity, and a bunch of other poets read, and when they read in my show, I gave them cards that they had a business card that they gave them poetic license. And that was what actually started the concept of the word poetic license, which is now my poetry open mic that I run once a month on the first Sundays. This one, Poetic License, right here in Austin, Texas. So it's really weird that I can find this that can give me the foundations of the phrase poetic license that leads to this open mic that I'm at here right now. I hope a lot of people are putting up posts and stuff, because I'm going to cut this live feed off and start reading much longer things I think I'm going to take my hat off for the rest of them though, because it's a lot of heat on my head. What? So I hope you guys all start posting stuff. Thank you all so very much for everything, and let's show the poetry world what we're really all about and how good everything can be. So thank you very much.